You should still be in the file called Chapter 13 Panorama 01. Close any windows and dialogues that you have open in the scene. Then let's go ahead and click on the Render Setup in the main toolbar to open the Render Setup dialog. You would choose your time output. If you're going out to an animation, you're going to either use the active time segment or a range of frames. That's entirely up to you. You may just be rendering this out as a still image as well. In the output size, let's begin by selecting the HDTV video option. It defaults to the 1920 by 1080 resolution. This is now becoming a more common HDTV output. It's called 1080p. This is definitely where the future is headed, and we need high quality images for the HDTV format. Primarily because post-processing with HDTV is much different than it used to be with traditional video. When we're post-processing for HDTV or cinema, it's very important that we don't lose any quality when we do any sort of manipulation with the image. Once you have the output size set, we need to scroll down to the Render Output area. Here we're going to specify what type of file we're going to render. Click the File button. Let's type in exrtest.exr as the file name. Here in the Save as Type drop-down list, choose the OpenEXR from the drop-down list. Then select the Setup button. There are a tremendous number of options now associated with this file format. You have the main render output area of this image type. We're going to set the format to full float 32 bits per channel. This is going to give us the highest quality image that we can possibly get and provide the highest dynamic range of all the formats for the OpenEXR file format. In the Type dropdown, we want to leave the RGBA option alone. This will give us all three color channels. In the Global Options area, we have the ability to save this as a completely uncompressed file, which can get very big very quickly. There's a lot of information in these files. We're going to choose the PIZ-based wavelet compression option. This is just an alternative compression method, and for a lot of images can do very well. Again, this is something that needs to be decided in advance because it will affect certain elements of your production pipeline. There are storage options for how the file should be stored on your hard drive and whether it saves the entire image or just one particular region. Additional features of the OpenEXR format are its ability to save what are called render elements inside the file. If you click on the Add Render Elements button, you'll see that it's currently a blank dialog box. The reason is that now OpenEXR can save any render element available within 3ds Max. If you're not familiar with what a render element is, when 3ds Max renders an image, there's a lot of information that it can pull out of that image. Not only can it pull color information, but it can pull lighting and shadow information as well, along with a variety of other important channels that can be used for compositing. Go ahead and cancel the dialog to close it. Go ahead and click on the gbuffer channels, and you'll see some channels that we can also save with the OpenEXR file format. Those include zdepth and material ID, as well as a variety of other useful gbuffer channels. Go ahead and cancel that to close that dialog. Then we can click OK to close the main dialog. Then click the Save button in the Render Output File dialog. And just go ahead and do a quick rendering of this image. When this finishes rendering, what we will end up with is a high dynamic range image that can be adjusted for exposure while maintaining a very high quality and not losing color information in the process. This is a very important feature of this file format and one of the reasons why it's so valuable when compositing high quality animation.